Hello everyone, this is WWE Gaming and welcome to a brand new installment of Future Langrisser. Today we're going to talk about the February 24th, 2025 edition to introduce two new characters, and both of these are from Langrisser Millennium WonderSwan. So get ready for their addition to the game. And I gotta say, these characters are going to be the fifth and sixth edition within the Langrisser Millennium WS lineup or WonderSwan. So anyways, let's take a look what they are and see what they're up to. So first up, let's talk about the first new character. Her name is Makaera or Macaria. I don't know how you pronounce the name, but I'll just call her Macaera for simplicity. But anyways, I apologize if I butchered the name because I never pronounced her name before. Just keep that in mind. And her class is Assassin Holy. And despite her being Holy class, she's a physical dealer. So keep that in mind. And she's like a thing like what Mario would do, but with a unique twist. Anyways, her factions are part of Origins, Princess Alliance, and Meteor Strike. And her role is of course physical DPS, and she creates a blade terrain which will do AoE damage once activated. This is part of her talent, and she comes with Salvation Heal, which is basically a attack based healing skill that some physical units have, like Mario, Lisa, anybody that does that. I don't remember that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot in the game that has this skill. It's nice to see more units with this skill now. Well, we'll have to see how it goes because she's like a hybrid of like in certain ways. Like she can be DPS if you want to, but she can also be a healer for you if you need additional healer. And then the other character we have in this update is Shem. He is the other character that will be added to the game, just like Makaera. Shem's factions are pretty similar, except instead of Princess Alliance, it is Ulysses Legends. So we got Origins of Light, Meteor Strike, and Ulysses Legends. And his classes are Infantry and Demon. So if I'm not mistaken, I did read through the talent. He does not have like a class disadvantage immunity, so yeah, I don't think Demon is going to be an optimal way to build him. But I think Infantry is the way to go. But here's the thing: I kind of feel he is kind of passable. But although I might be wrong because even though they look pretty basic, they sometimes could end up being really broken. So we're gonna have to see how they'll be changing the game. I'll probably say maybe a bit, but not a lot, like other heroes that we have so far. Lately, like when the releases of like certain characters, Zilong has no chills on those new characters. Like they've been doing this a lot of times already. So I think at this point they're gonna have to chill out on like them being power creeps, but we'll have to see how these characters will work later on. Anyways, his role, just like Macaera, like his bandmate, it does physical DPS as well, and his is a AOE specialist with fixed damage implemented in there. So do I think Shem is an interesting unit? I'll say yeah, but do I think it's broken? Maybe. I don't think so, honestly. But we'll have to see. Like I said earlier, we'll have to see when they come out in the game. But for now, it will be CM first, of course. Okay, next up, let's talk about the new casting pattern skills. So this time around, we got two new casting patterns. The first one goes to Isara. Hers is straightforward. Attack and defense increased by 5%. The range and span of AoE skills is increased by one block. So this is a nice addition for her, but do I really think it's broken for meta? I do not think so. Because Isara's kit is pretty mid, honestly. But yeah, being an SR character doesn't really help either. So yeah, definitely won't be seeing Isara in Apex. So yeah, that's for sure, of course. Because I don't think I've ever seen an SR character in Apex unless there are certain exceptions like Sophia. Like she even though despite Sophia being SR, she does in fact come with something that actually is pretty helpful. Like cooldown reduction, healing, like a lot of those things. So yeah, Isara on the other hand, I don't see her in Apex. So do I think this change will help her to be in there? I highly doubt that. I don't think it's possible. But Anyways, we'll see because especially in the lower tiers, you might see Isara in the box, but in the higher level, you don't really see her much because a lot of people in the higher ups are usually bringing units that are like very strong. So and Isara isn't one of them. And the other character that's getting the casting pattern skill is Theon. Yep, Theon is finally getting a casting in this update, and his I gotta say, is a nice upgrade. Attack and crit increased by 5% after retrieving the spinner blade, whatever that thing is, for each stack of fracture on the affected enemies. Each spinner deals 0.5 times of Theon's attack as fixed damage, and on top of that, this fixed damage ignores immunity. So if you have something like swordsman metal or bracer, like or any of that, this fixed damage will still get to you because it ignores the immunity. So yeah, if you ever fought Theon, watch out. Do I think he is meta worthy? I would say depends because he can be meta worthy in certain boxes, but it just mostly depends on what foe you're fighting against. He is still counterable, but the thing is, depending on which one you're fighting, which team you're fighting. I'll probably say he is working well with AOE rush team, but we'll have to see how it goes from there. So what do I think about the two new casting patterns? I would say it's an alright additions, but Isara I would say it's questionable because it is a nice addition for her, but for meta worthy, I don't think so. For Theon, I could see that as a potential, but not really broken. I would say because nowadays like there are other units that can like survive the insane damage from Theon. So we'll have to see how it plays out because since this one ignores immunity now, which will enable Theon some more opportunity or potential to be good. Okay, next up, let's talk about the new exclusive equipment. This time around, we got a new armor for Andy, or Andrile, for as his actual name. And his armor increases his HP by 10%. After casting Oath Loyalty to an ally, Andrew additionally gains all faction effects of the target ally. And when moving through any unit, negates mobility consumption of one block. When I'm sorry. When an Oath Loyalty ally initiates combat but fails to defeat the enemy, Andrelli gains hostility for 2 turns. So this armor essentially enables him to be even dangerous if you're not careful. Of course, this armor isn't really overpowered per se, but it's just that it really depends on how you're playing with Andrelli because this armor is a nice upgrade, that's for sure. But there are some situations where this armor might not help you much. Like for example, especially in PvP, you need to kill an enemy in order to win the games, right? Well, if you're allied with loyalty oath or oath loyalty, I'll say, does not kill the enemy, that ally that doesn't matter if Andy can get hostility or not. That ally is gonna be dead. So yeah, do I think this armor is great for PvP? It just depends on what situation you're in. But for PvE, yeah, for sure it's a good upgrade. But PvP, not so much because like your ally needs to do some kills to help to help Andy. Otherwise, it's not gonna help you much because you're gonna get hostility anyways, just by having your ally killed. But in most case scenarios, you do not want that unless you're using a unit that can sacrifice normally, like AO or Tarantel. Any of these two, honestly, I don't know if these. I think actually wait, these two can work together. But yeah, just a few ideas of how Andy could work with his armor. But overall, you don't want to do that. Like you do not want to have your one ally be in danger just for that, unless you really are crazy about going all in, like rush player, single target rush. Maybe does that even exist? But maybe it does, but I'm not too sure because most of the rush I heard so far are mostly AOE rush, because that is powerful than single target across the board, honestly. And finally, let's wrap up this installment by talking about some stuff regarding the banners that we will be expecting in this update. Although keep in mind that this list is not complete, so this is just a rough draft of what we'll be expecting. So the radar banner for this update is going to be featuring a radar banner for Ymir and Hoffman, as well as Theon and Nonorin. Yep, Nonorin is coming back on this update, which is nice to have. Because I heard a lot of people in global, especially like I mean, as of recently, for us, a lot of people did have fun with Nonorin. But do I think she's broken? Not quite, because she does have some weaknesses too. Like Lemia will shut her down for sure. But overall, she is a fun unit to play as. So yeah, I good for you if you like Nonorin or even Saffron. In fact, because I've seen some people run these two units despite them not being meta units. Yeah, even though they're pretty niche. There are some fan base around those characters, which is nice to see. And let's talk about more banners. Strategic Masters Destiny banner for Andrile, Clotaire, and Seraphina. And the classic Destiny banner for Landius, Yulia, and Jugler. And even though these are listed here, these are just speculations. So, yeah, anything on this list might change or maybe add a few more banners at a later time because obviously this amount of banners doesn't sound a lot. Now, come to think of it. So, anyways, hope you'll find this video helpful or informative, and I'll see you all next time. And hope you'll have a good day.